Found another way to dance. Impounded in the fragility for the still the pretending and the moving in the slime and the peak, the deceit for the silence is known. She's found another way to dance for the still, dancing with me for the forum, never for the dress, that's that for the matching, for the gloom, for the fragment, and for the sincerity of the stooping of the collecting pieces. This is where only mine for there, if I was there for this and another way to dance. This is the defeating of the burdens and ever the choosing to carry it over your age and get back for the beneath the world. And in line for the fresh of the stupidity, for the chant to get broken sages, for the time to ward arrogance and with the transcend now. I hope you dance in the kitchen, to hope you play the games at the dinner table, for the sleep you get the living room, for the relaxing in the bathroom, with the love again, that you can have it open again for the time in the middle of it. What is this? Overstimulation, watching the show anymore. Strip for the find it won't even finish the full song, for the company, for the no longer, for the enough, for the connection, for the you can have the check in the phone. Transgression for the anxiety disorder, for the many more, for the good nights and the sleep, for the overlay, for the over the stimulant, for the mind, for the sitting, for the attached that, for the past, and this is calling over the sleep, and this you can find it welcome to become nothing less. Transgressions of the made, fine mind, distant elder for your time, negative of the portrait of the brain. To support the request to create the next project for yes, be kind enough and invisible, so for the unfortunate ultraviolet, for the blood moon to be eclipsed, this the heaven over the doom, for this to be the smile, for the over, this to be the laser eye, for the purple of the sky, to find the gold culture, and the vulture, when I'm dead. In the beginning and the end, for the faith and the confidence in you, you find the end and the when you find out what the end. For the realms of the red, for the rock, it contains a certain blissful uncertainty of the unknown, but that you could be the full of love for this and then for the sure to know. Precious as could be. Symphony over the amber, for the humming over the light, this exact angle for the between the memory and the fracture. And I don't know where to begin for banishing this is executed for the client. This is poverty for the never the card. This possession for the bit more honorable for the laying in bed. Hear the song. Written my fallen leaves in the wind. Ignore them, no. Hiding behind the crooked seconds of the cigarette smoke. Or imperfections in your way because you had a small take for the attack, this sense, the smell of the despair. Conscious of the life of the contemplating wrong or the right. Your face behind me with the sunlight of the tranquil face. This is speak with the honey, where the whispering lies are reflected into your trusted eye. I find a way to realize this glass, find a way to still glows, this more to see. Footsteps faded to the marble halls of the find the face, feast, find the ghost, this find the time for the shell pass, and wisdom with the comfort, for the warming, and never the smoke. Walking in the midnight for the idea when you're dancing. Work, twerk. This the flow off to with death and find your corpse and dying in doormat for the never persona to stand. And imagine for the peace in the place, this where happy feels like. Ending for the electric and spark sack, you for the receiver for yourself and not the infomercial for commercial for the jingling heart. Thoughts to mind, the circle for the altar of suffering kneels the disciple for the close my eyes. Trying to name the spice or to find a read. Type the loads of love's company for the guests, the fools and tools. Without the regret for those of those who never loved and felt that this is the burning inside. And the threading of the what's true for the throat that you ignore. Sharp to forsake for what it takes. Feel the clouds gather for like the cattle and hurry over the footprints and the drumming over the midnight for the wind to batters for your leather for the distance behind. That for the axe of the stone for the fielding and indoor for the building. Need that your soul for the waiting for the light to return for the clean hand. Life for the end, the problem for the solve, the morphing of the dose to see the construct of what we feel. And lightning break, in time to see the disco ball. Waiting for the time to show the pictures of the sporadic and similar, instead of reflecting it for someone else. Forming with them to just be the shining light for the bright in life, to show me whatever you are for the chaotic that must be for the existence can't cease to possess. And people will tell you how part of them feel. Love for the secret and countless introductions and for your ceaseless conversation for the limitless and the encounter over your always finding yourself in deep credits is often you mutated the body for the sorrow for the alcohol to stay the hope that you can get clean and never the work for me for the shadow for the phone screen over your beat beginning to be from repetitive like you're about the apathy over your way for the wall seeing that bear too ill and change choose live such a way for the charming swipe without the warning and inebriated the life of the dedicated for your promises and the farmer. The moonlight undoing of the questions of the silence of the answer with the eyes of the language of the softest moonlight undressed my disguise of the gaze under to become a tether for the wearing for the woven over the celestial threads that burst of passion for the dancing between us in the starlight crowns ahead. What was said for the soaking of me, for the, you could really see for the neediness and over the up and away for the ups are good, for the remind me again the downs are coming and the message that you could find what's all behind the look to resemble the shape of your face. And every detail to trace it, every freckle in line for the ever memorizing of the intimacy, over the every detail for the feeling, a freckle over your elixir for the temporary sanity, for the apply to me, for the legally explain my impulse, this reaction to life, for the lived and true, for the untied and true, for the gain the sympathy, for the you can have a human interaction, for the grading scale, for the condemning of the being natural. For the ability to instill the fear for the man, for the proving and the love, for the protection, for the what you find the innocence, for the real redemption of the present, for the created, for the brethren, for the innocent, for the turn to warrior, for the shadows itself of the reaper. What philosophy is the truth? For the does that plea, for the also speak for me. The abuse of power, practice, tried and true, for to the souls of continuously bleeding into the hopes of true justice. A prayer to be free. Mistook for the stranger for you, for the painted the voice with the color for care, for the clinging to the shadows of the glowing screens of disability for the support to weep. And I thought it was only my own illusion, the whispering back to me, for the built the character for the out of dreams and this walls within enough of the betrayal to slip through the face of vanish, the promise enough for crack this massive black like a broken glass, this perhaps that for the hell to me at all, for the walk beside the pain, for the perhaps that turned into the long ago method of the disbelief for the feeling that fed myself for the life and ever the watching you over me for the see the cry for the clever clever mask you bake the selfish roots beneath your smile for the never that you can find a lady leans closest and never the welcoming of the nearness and over the you know the truth for the guardian for the mirror the longing over the lift of that aid to God and asking for strength to cut the thread for the keep my words keep my work. Keep the peace, passing you over the road for the belonging to see you every day for the can't find the rising within for the quiet prayer to my lips and the mind and find the found the vision of the beyond the illusion for the stop beyond the find the film finally be free. And an owl for the nest, this universe sitting on the tree for this to be and all the passion flower for the protein sent by the birthday or the day for the dish find toppling over yourself for the pillowing over the faded or white. Preparing yourself for the great fall, for the angelic wings that feathering and the fall for the perpetrators of the tomorrow's time, frolicking by the frail fingers and the nibbling over the head, for the healing over the slipping away, for the having a wave goodbye, for this chiseling over the grinding of the soul. A rosewater calculation arranged by someone who refused to leave the symmetry for the dance in their chins and just to find the distorting each petal for the to the shape it never meant to be. And can love be forever for not the kind of rhetorical question taught in movies and in life untouched. This to find a study for the wounds of the weight, for the wound to being human, for the fading of the sparks to quiet, for the passion bending under the pressure, for the building of the distance, for the tired of mornings to sleep this night, the love change and fire at amber, for the something salty that doesn't fade. Looks like love at all for the choosing of the choosing. It'll be different for the choosing, forever for the decision, for the cracks, the spout, the smooth, for someone's skin, for the front of the sharp edges, for the reaching, for the someone's hand, for the strum that will make you unrecognizable, for the, again you could find the game.
pressure never goes away, but it's just the same for the goals, quieter over the pages of the books that have refused to find a word, the endless of the wonder for the word the journey is that pulling me under. I'm a survivor in the darkest night for the found to stay alive, for the breath that I took, for the clinging, the hope, the sisto, the trials and tribulations, the weather for the storm. Hear the earth for the greater than myself, the force beyond control, the new, the deep, of the soul for the stripping and make it whole with the crime and the mountains of the despair, for the trudging for the dew, valleys deep for the swarming and the rivers of the uncertainty for the ones who weep. I stood in the tall face of fear for the spirit unbending, for they never thought it was much more than life, the worth of defending, for the standing here, the proud survivor through the known. Face demons and conquer fears and emerging anew. Carry me scars of battle for the reminder to fight for those learning one thing, their own light for the surviving and the never giving in, for the pushing forward for no matter where you've been, for the strength that we find ourselves for the survival of the grandson. Here to the earth for the levels of the stars, for the air, for the steady, for the stone, for the soil, for the garden, for the hands of the earth, and the run, for the sun, for the roots, and the holding me steady, for the mind of the unsound, the outside the frame, the pushing to the end to the state, for the visitor with the return, for the stay. For the ode to the 300 thoughts that come to the mind, for the intelligent life story, for the dream to be loved, for the 8 sections for the compassion, the truth, the trembling pause when it comes to me, for the hands that turn empty, for the chest that doesn't find that voice, the conviction for the thunder to itself.
country offered to give $1 billion to help Black Americans economically and politically, and the US government denied that gift. A lot of you might already know this story, but it was new information to me, so I'm assuming some people don't know about this history, and it's important that we talk about it. According to LA Times, the federal government of the US denied the Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan permission to accept a promised $1 billion gift from Libya to help Black Americans economically and politically. According to the same report, Farrakhan applied to the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, asking that he be granted an exemption from the sanctions to permit acceptance of $1 billion pledged by Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi during a visit Farrakhan made to Libya. The Treasury Department denied that request in a message to Farrakhan's lawyers in Chicago, asserting the continuing need of the United States to enforce its policy of isolating Libya. Denying $1 billion, which is a gift meant for Black Americans from an African country, is insane. But it did happen. And according to US spokesman then, African country.
What's the name of this thing?
This is,
Oh, never mind. Take one.
how about take two?
Okay.
bass, drums, piano, and records. Say what? Bass. Piano. And records.
They were showing with their hand movement how I would get the hand on the knives and we would cut the baby's leg, drain the blood.
He forces me and Gabriel to do it. But because we can't, we're not strong enough to cut the baby's head off, he tells us to hold the knife And he puts his hand at the top of our hand, and he helps us to cut the baby's head off. Because he's learning, he's teaching me and Gabriel, so when we're older, to do it to our own children and do this kind of stuff to our own children.
Just horrific upon horrific detail.
Was it abroad, you think, where your ex-partner and her new boyfriend filmed your children making these allegations, which were then uploaded onto the internet?
What they did.
This is like the entrance. And then after there's this other room where the priest, then he calls them to his things are yes, but then after where the big park is, because we go there and do sex there. So then where this big carpet space, there's another door leading into that. And the baby, Mrs. Forsyth, the headmistress, she cuts the baby. Yes.
Slowly by degrees. Better than of heart attack or some dose of drug I lack. Let me die by being black. Better far that I should go standing here against the foe is the sweeter death to me. Can I get a witness? Better than the bloody stain on some highway where I'm laid, torn by flying glass and pain. Better calling death to come than to die another dumb, muted victim in the slum. Better than of this prison rot, if there's any choice I've got, kill me here on the spot. Better far my fight to wage now while my blood boils with rage, lest it cool with ancient age. Better violent for us to die than to Uncle Tom and try, making peace just to live a lie. Better now that I say my sooth, I'm gonna die demanding truth while I'm still akin to youth. Better now than later on, now the fear of death is gone. Never mind another dawn. They opened fire, but they died killing it like it was. Oh, this for a minute.
Now the person you may be angry with, do you mean to say you can only love somebody who made no mistakes? Now the person you may be angry with made some mistakes, but so did Flo, who you're not angry with. At some point you have to be real. Let the brain go to work. Let it meet the heart. Let the two of them work together. You'll be surprised at how you will be able to forgive. Yes, please. And then you can look in your brother's face, in your sister's eyes, and say, yes, you're white. No, you're black. I forgive you because I forgive myself first. For keeping you locked up in my heart. Keeping you imprisoned in my ignorance. Out of my ignorance, I'm keeping you in prison. At some point, you have to stop. Say, wait a minute. Is this fair? Is this who I want to be? You see? No, I want to be the free one. And in order to be the free one, I have to free everybody, don't I? How can I be free and keep you down? If I keep you down, I have to be down there with
Greeks
you.
and Romans in there. So I'm asking you to prove to me, where do you come from genetically? How did you get here? Because you can't. I don't want you to use.
Can you tell me exactly which countries you came from in your history? I can tell you which countries I'm connected.
I can tell you exactly where I came from. Yes, my ancestors.
And not want to feel the silence of the war for the night. Peace in the silence for the disappear, the stretching of the skin for the one of the seven screams of the inhaling before the judge opens over the
blacks in America, whether it be the Egyptians, Cushites, which means blacks in Africa, whether we go to the Naga Cushites in Japan, the blacks in India, okay, not the Dravidians, but the Negroids, all say the same thing. Our ancestors come from the stars, and they populated this planet and spreaded their seed across the four corners of the earth. And before somebody say that's fake, black people, specifically black women, have an entire race of humanoids in their DNA that they call a ghost race. Well, you said where we come from, I'm going to tell you. That they say that they call a ghost race because black women have the race of an entire species in their DNA that has never been anthropologically found, which means the species does exist. It's just not from this planet. Black people also have 147 alien genes, which has been confirmed by science, and black people are also the only people on this planet Earth that are non-Neanderthal. David Wilcock, who Caucasoids love, did an entire lecture on how black people have extraterrestrial DNA, and they don't want us to know. So our ancestors' story matches up not only with past genetics, but present genetics. The problem is your story is not matching up with present science or past science. So once again, I told you where I come from. There were black people in Greece and Rome before there were Greeks and Romans in there. So I'm
the anger, affection, like a pride to the end for the myself rage, if for the earn what you should have been given for the sitting of the records and not crying, the remembering and the wondering and why I let you. You never saw me in anymore for the never to be held in your blurry gaze. This is fine to see me now that the learning of the one that more than Quran. So I find what's the outcome of the
particular Amara Royal. I know somewhere in here that I exist. Yes, Grandpa, His Majesty. We call him Grandpa because we were told to the people that really the emperor is my great-grandfather. This is my mother and all her sisters. This whole group were imprisoned by the dark. And the next part of the circle is my siblings and my cousins.
Nothing breaks and doesn't lie
They narrowly escaped.
You find the healing of the full cup and just to find the
We
single
lost
drop.
so many relatives.
That's the strength of this drought.
But I was really young,
and
I don't know
dry cheeks and this
the whole story.
Mr. Belief in the cracking
This
open
is
the mess
the
of the
royal
secret.
family.
If the proof of this is still in soft inside it, I can find it enduring and quietly like
Hitler tells the world why he hates Jews. He says the Jews created communism. Jews are taking advantage of you. People said, how? Says the Jews are the ones that are in control of all of the banks that are lending you with high interest. And everybody said yes. Why? Because it was true. The Jews destroyed the economy in Germany by simply lending money with high interest. People that cannot meet this demand, the business is not growing as high as they thought it was going to grow, ended up closing down shop and saying, listen, I'm defaulting, and declare bankruptcy. I have to start all over.
The shadows around the silhouette.
500 years before that in Spain, the same thing happened. 900 years in England, it happened. 1186. The Jewish people were doing really well financially. Primary business, lending money, ignoring the Torah rules. One day, the leader of the place goes on vacation. They're going to decide to start mass murdering Jewish people in the streets. Why? We're tired of paying you interest. We're tired of doing this. This Rabotai Karim is repeating the same story over and over again. If anyone ever read Mein Kampf,
left alone for now to care about what's this funny reflection of the grief of the dead in heaven. For the shore for the catch of the
realize the problem because people heard when you see the hologram, they're thinking of a Walt Disney little pixel dancing around in a little darkness area. That's all they know about holograms. They don't know that 20 years ago.
Exit for the frantic and furious and ready for the door position of the the singing to operating over the dawn for the sun, the zebra over the obsession with the fish.
We used that on 9/11. We used that on 9/11. Right now, the television.
Did you catch that? He was about to say to put a plane through a building, but he caught himself. Go back and listen to it again. Watch what he says.
Well, the point is, how can they project holograms of that size? And therein lies the problem, because people are, when you see the hologram, they're thinking of the Walt Disney little pixie dancing.
Muslim Art Committee, mandated by 57 other Muslim countries, and I can tell you here, very unequivocally, all of us are willing to right now guarantee the security of Israel in the context of Israel ending the occupation and allowing for the emergence of a Palestinian state, independent state along the routes that we all agree. He is creating that danger because he simply does not want the two-state solution. And if he does not want the two-state solution, can you ask the Israeli officials, what is their end game? Other than just wars and wars and wars, I'm telling you, all of us in the Arab world here, we want a peace in which Israel lives in peace and security, accepted, normalized with all Arab countries in the context of ending the occupation, withdrawing from Arab territory, allowing for the emergence of an independent, sovereign Palestinian state on June 4, 1967, lies with occupied Jerusalem as capital. That is our narrative. That what's their narrative other than I'm going to continue to go to war, I'm going to kill this and kill that and destroy this and this that. The amount of damage that the Israeli government has done, 30 years of efforts to convince people that peace is possible, this Israeli government killed it. The amount of dehumanization, hatred, bitterness will take generations to navigate through. So ultimately the question is, we want peace and we laid out a plan for peace. Ask any Israeli official what is their plan for peace, you'll get nothing because they're only thinking of the first step, we're going to go destroy Gaza, inflame the West Bank, destroy Lebanon, and after that they have no plan. We have a plan. We have no partner for peace in Israel. There is a partner for peace in the Arab world, and that's why the international community needs to work.
The story of Stephen Miller, Donald Trump's literal human garbage. Do you remember when Donnie ordered that children be ripped from their mother's arms, shoved into camps with no oversight, underfed, given no changes of clothes, no showers, and were left to fend for themselves with little more than space blankets? Well, he did. And this guy, this trash here, Stephen Miller, it was all his idea, and he loved it. Stephen Miller was born in Southern California, and he was raised by a rage-filled real estate developer who used the courts, manipulation, and evasion to scam and grift his way through life. Stephen's father lost a lot of money, and while his brothers got to go to private school, Stephen had to move into a house in a poor area of town. His daddy blamed Mexican immigrants for their reversal of fortune and passed that racism on to Stephen, who had to go to public school, where he saw the children of Mexican immigrants as the enemy. Stephen literally believes immigrants, legal or otherwise, destroyed his family. He grew steadily more radicalized by his father, to the point that he told his childhood friend they could no longer be associated because he was Latino. And by 16, he was being mentored by insane racist bigot David Horowitz, who fed a steady stream of hate into Stephen like he was a baby bird. In college, he became close and continuing friends with Richard Spencer, who is now a high-ranking member in the white supremacist movement, and white nationalism would become a large part of Miller's life, despite being Jewish himself, which is just baffling. Imagine being Stephen Miller, disgusting, I know, and sitting in lecture after lecture by white supremacists and nodding along about how your people are controlling and destroying the world and deserve to be exterminated. The mental gymnastics and compartmentalization blows my mind. Miller then worked for a cavalcade of trash like Michelle Bachmann and Jeff Sessions, where he formulated a lot of the rhetoric he'd use for Donald's 2016 campaign. And then Stephen met Donald Trump. In Donnie, Stephen found a version of his father who he could devote himself to, which he did with a passion, foregoing personal relationships and friendships to be the most Trumperson who ever lived. After Trump won, he worked closely with Steve Bannon and helped get Sessions appointed Attorney General. But it was Stephen who was the first to turn on him and force them out of the White House when Donnie decided they weren't loyal enough to him. Miller was all in. He was a terror in the White House, screaming at people at random, constantly pissed off that America wasn't executing anyone who crosses the border. At one point, he wanted to dip the heads of Iraqi militants in pig's blood and parade them around the country, which, to be clear, would be a war crime. He was a key architect in the fraudulent electors scheme and the attempted January 6th coup. He even wrote the line, "If we don't fight like hell, we won't have a country anymore," purposefully goading the January 6th crowd to attack the Capitol and murder Mike Pence. He then went on to spend the next 4 years helping the Heritage Foundation craft his insane, racist ideals into actionable policy so that he can get his dream of literally expelling every single non-white person from America, because that is exactly what the son of Jewish immigrants fleeing persecution in Belarus would do, right? You'd ignore your entire family history, pretend you're not the child of immigrants, and act out the same murderous rage your family experienced on other immigrants. You do all of this just to please your cardboard cutout of a daddy figure, Donald J. Trump. Why the fuck is it always daddy issues with you people?
Constitution of the United States. I said this is the original Epstein list. Because the 13 colonies were the original Epstein Island. That was the original Epstein Island. But maybe that doesn't count for you because the victims on that Epstein Island were all African slaves. You know, Thomas Jefferson, everyone knows Thomas Jefferson had a relationship that they romanticized with his slave. Did you know she was 14? He was in his 40s. She was 14, 13 or 14 years old, maybe younger. This is your Thomas Jefferson. This is your founding father. And like father, like son. You try to act like this is some, again, you same way you try to act like Hitler was an anomaly, you try to act like every time some evil comes, whether it's an anomaly or they got tricked into it, well, come on, who are you trying to fool? Signatures on the Constitution of the United States. And I said, this is the original Epstein list.
This is a very racist society. I mean, it's pretty shocking what has happened in the last roughly 30 years with regard to African Americans. Actually, is very similar to what Baptist describes in the late 19th century. Remember what happened. The constitutional amendments during and after the Civil War were supposed to free African American slaves. It did something for about 10 years. And then there was a North-South Compact, which essentially granted the former slave-owning states the right to do whatever they wanted. And what they did was criminalize black life in all kinds of ways. And that created a kind of a slave force. In fact, one of the most interesting books on it, Douglas Blackman's, is called Worse Than Slavery or something like that. It threw mostly black males, but also women, into jail, where they become a perfect labor force, much better than slaves. If you're a slave owner, you have to you have to keep your capital alive. If the state does it for you, it's terrific. No strikes, no disobedience, perfect labor force. A lot of the American Industrial Revolution in the late 19th, early 20th century is based on that. Actually, it pretty much lasted until the Second World War, when there was a need for what's called free labor in the war industry. After that come about two decades in which African Americans had a kind of a shot at entering the society. A black worker get a job in an auto plant. The unions were still functioning. Maybe buy a small house, send his kid to college or something. By by the 1970s or 80s, it's going back to criminalization of black life. It's called the drug war, which is a racist war. Ronald Reagan was an extreme racist, denied it. And the whole drug war, so-called, is designed from policing up to eventual release from prison to make it impossible for the black male community and more women and more Hispanics to be part of the society. In fact, if you look at American history, the first slaves came in 1619, half a millennium. There have been about 3 or 4 decades in which African Americans had a limited degree of freedom. It's not entirely, but at least some. Of course, it's for black elites, there's some privileges, but I'm talking about the mass of the population, which has been recriminalized and incidentally also turned into a slave labor force. There's prison labor, for example. Well, this is American history. To break out of that is no small trick. In fact, if you take a look at the election, say the last election, in many ways it's a civil war of the red states of the Confederacy. Extends a little beyond, but that's pretty much what it is. And of course, this is a real battle. These two founding crimes, slavery and extermination of the indigenous population, they're very much with us. Take a look at Indian reservations today. It's not a pretty sight. This is a very
scheme and the story of Steve.